quiet neighborhood in Steel Creek has been unsettled by a brief but troubling encounter, prompting one family to speak out. The Bryant family, who reside on Comiskey Lane in Charlotte, North Carolina, describe their community as peaceful and uneventful, a place where incidents like this feel deeply out of place. That sense of security was shaken one night in April 2021, when their teenage son stepped outside after dark to walk the family dog. Within seconds of leaving the house, a silver BMW pulled up near the curb.
Hey. Did you already come out? Huh?
A man then exited and began approaching the boy who was taught about stranger danger, but froze in that moment.
Oh, you live here already?
The situation might have escalated further if not for Bryant's husband, who noticed something was wrong and stepped outside.
What you got to ask my son?
I was wondering about the airplane noise.
The man responded that he was asking about airplane noises, a detail that, while plausible, given the neighborhood's proximity to an airport, did little to ease the family's concern.
Talking to my son and he ain't got no adult out here. That's kind of creepy.
Shortly after, the man returned to his vehicle and drove away. Though the encounter lasted only minutes, its impact lingered. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, one of the most common tactics used in attempted kidnappings involves initiating seemingly harmless conversations, asking questions to gain a child's attention and trust. On the morning of January 29, 2026, a quiet neighborhood in Merritt Island, Florida, was jolted awake by something that felt less like reality and more like a scene torn from a nightmare. Just before dawn, security cameras captured a man moving erratically between homes. Without warning, he stepped into view, armed with a pitchfork. He began by attacking a home's Ring camera. Moments later, he escalated, switching between weapons, using both a pitchfork and a hatchet to smash property and tear through anything in reach. Neighbors described the man as unpredictable and unresponsive, wandering from house to house, knocking, demanding entry, then erupting into violence when ignored. He tore apart yards, destroyed fixtures, and even chased residents down the street. One victim recalled being suddenly attacked and pursued, the man charging without hesitation, as if driven by something beyond reason. When deputies finally arrived, the man did not respond to commands. He made strange noises, ignored orders, and resisted arrest with sudden bursts of aggression before being subdued. Authorities later identified him as Charles Reed Knight III. Reports suggested alcohol may have played a role, but for those who witnessed it, that explanation felt insufficient. In August 2023, in Dallas, Texas, an ordinary evening took a sudden and violent turn at an apartment building. Around 6 p.m. on a Saturday, Ethan Rodriguez was alone, absorbed in a video game, when suddenly there was an unexpected knock at his front door.
Can I help you?
Oh yes, they came to check your air filters. I'm not sure. This is 38277.
Apartment. No one came to the air filters.
Can you repeat that?
No one came to check the air apartment.
No. Yes, we're checking the air filters.
Oh, nobody's home right now. You'll have to wait till another day.
Oh, much appreciated.
On his phone, he checked the live feed from his digital doorbell camera. A man stood outside, someone he had never seen before, calmly claiming to be a maintenance worker there to inspect the air conditioner. Something about the interaction felt off. Rather than open the door, Rodriguez spoke through the camera, telling the man he wasn't home. For a moment, it seemed to work. The stranger walked away, but only briefly.
817.
Minutes later, he returned, this time accompanied by another man, his face concealed. Without hesitation, the two began taking turns kicking the door, trying to break in. With his heart pounding, Rodriguez grabbed his gun and fired at the men through the door. In response, one of the men, who was also armed, fired back before both suspects fled into the distance. One of the suspects was later identified as 30-year-old Aaron Contreras, who was arrested by police.
Dallas Police!
Yeah.
Mr. Rodriguez, Ethan, it's Dallas Police!
Hey, they shot back. They're showcasing us out here.
Right here, open the door.
Yeah, just open the door slowly, man. Make sure I can see your hands. Hey,
We're all in here. We're all in here.
Alright, come on out, man.
Are you the only one inside?
No, my brother.
Alright, I want all of you guys to come out. Just step over here for me.
Go on, Dustin.
Alright, man.
Can I get my phone? Can I show you a video?
Yeah, we'll get it.
Be on the
You
camera.
guys give us, you guys, can I go inside? Grab all this stuff? Okay.
Yeah, dude, I gotta do. I'm spaz hard to work right now.
over here. Dallas Police. We're gonna need
In the wake of the incident, Rodriguez and his family made the decision to move out of the apartment, an uneasy reminder that danger can happen at any time, even in the comfort of your own home. In August 2023, a family in Tampa, Florida, was left fearing for their safety after uncovering something deeply unsettling at their own front door. Umar Abdullah says the trouble began quietly, shortly after the birth of his daughter. Their neighbors started filing repeated complaints about footsteps, about doors closing, ordinary sounds of daily life. Yet, when Abdullah and his landlord attempted to recreate the noise, they found almost nothing audible. The accusations felt misplaced, but they didn't stop. Instead, they escalated. By May, an unfamiliar odor began seeping into the home. Abdullah replaced appliances, including the water heater, and brought in inspection crews to search for a source. Each time, they found nothing. Still, the smell kept coming back. In June, it intensified. The air inside the apartment turned acrid. Abdullah described a burning sensation in his eyes. His infant daughter began coughing and vomiting. What had once seemed like a nuisance now felt like something far more dangerous. Convinced something wasn't right, Abdullah took matters into his own hands. Suspecting outside interference, he concealed a camera within a plant near his front door. What it captured confirmed his worst fears. Footage shows the neighbor approaching the door in the quiet hours and producing a syringe. Kneeling down, he carefully inserted the needle beneath the doorframe and injected an unknown substance into the apartment. Abdullah immediately contacted police. The suspect was identified as Zhuming Li, a PhD student in the chemistry department at the University of South Florida. He was arrested, and following the incident, the university expelled him. For Abdullah and his family, the discovery transformed their home into something unrecognizable. A place where the threat didn't come from outside forces or distant dangers, but from just beyond the door, close enough to hear and close enough to reach inside. For more episodes, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications.